Okay, we're going live.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to our third Jeff Jam. Let me should I do a tweet for it?
You can. We'll get our 5 viewers. Go tweet out there so we get our 5 viewers and stick in 0.
All right. I can just retweet last week.
There you go.
All right, give me a second. If I could spell rhythm, that would super help.
It was hard for me to spell too.
I think I got it down now.
Just like when I programmed Burgle, I had such a difficult time remembering how it's spelled Chihuahua. So I made a phonetic in my mind whenever I had to spell it. It's Chihuahua. Because it's Chihua.
Oh.
So I do Chihuahua. That's how I remember.
What's the link? It's
I don't know. You could probably just copy from last week.
Yeah, but it let's see. Let's go to my channel. Well, what if I go to another channel? No, that's got a header. Okay, so if we just punch in this, nope. I haven't figured out what our secret code is.
Secret code.
Okay. So what channel is this on? Oh, so okay, so it's this /live, right?
This/live.
Yep. Okay. I got it figured out. All right. Okay. All right. Do you need any of this? You got pictures of this?
I don't think we need any of this. This is all introduced stuff about the game.
All right. All right. Rhythm games.
All right, and now we will probably start.
Okay. Now we can edit all the other stuff out.
We can edit it out. Don't do anything.
Just skip to minute whatever. All right. What like inspirations? Like when talking about rhythm games.
Yep.
Like let's maybe go like what are like the first ones? What's the oldest rhythm game you can think of?
What was it called? It was keyboard something.
What about DDR? Is that the first one?
DDR might be the first one. I'm trying to think.
It was in arcades, but
there was this one where you basically had DDR on your keyboard. That you hit all these little buttons.
Well, AudioSurf was pretty early.
Sure.
And it was based off of, you do a Fourier transform on the music, figure out where the beats are, and then use that to make your patterns.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess some baseline is like, you either, because there's a lot of rhythm games nowadays, the whole new fancy thing to do is put it into like a shooter or like a roguelike type setting or whatever with like Crypt of the Necrodancer or Bolts per Minute,
Yes.
where
Yes.
it's like that's you have to fire on rhythm.
Even there's hybrid ones where bullet pistol whip.
Okay.
So pistol whip, I haven't played it. From what I can tell, though, is you're in kind of a John Wick scenario. So it's half of it between Beat Saber and Super Hot.
Okay.
And so like you're kind of going down this track. You're kind of on a constant velocity, but there's a rhythm by which you're supposed to like shoot people and duck and like whatnot. And because if you just go and you just try to do it whatever, you don't get points or whatever. So they're trying to like get you in some kind of a cadence with the music.
Sure.
Parappa Rapper is a really young one.
Elite Beat Agent.
Yeah, that's on. Yeah, I'm just looking at the Wikipedia. But yeah, Elite Beat Agents had a lot of different like patterns because it was touch or mouse.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, touch here, follow it all to here, tap these things in order. And it used collapsing circles for a lot of its stuff. Forgot timing.
Yeah, kind of just like OSU.
It's the same. Elite Beat Agents and OSU is the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never played Elite Beat Agent.
Yeah. That's just how it got released in the West.
Hmm.
I mean, so fundamentally, is there a way to divorce? I was just trying to think of an example. A way to divorce a rhythm game from music per se.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's like, it seems like there's definitely a lot of upfront crafting when it comes to like, okay, you've got to make this music that lines up with these notes, and
Sure.
And so, if you take an existing song, then you have to go through and do it, or can you do it procedurally, which the math is not simple.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you ever play anything from Rhythm Heaven, like that whole series?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
It was a DS series.
No, I never had a DS.
It was also on Wii.
Ooh, nope.
Okay, Rhythm. So there was several of these, but like let's find a video. Here's a trailer for it, but it's usually just probably gonna loop through here.
Well, okay. Okay, so there's a ton of mini games.
Yeah. I don't think there's one out for Switch yet. The DS was the last thing system this one. And they just kept adding mini games to the mini versions.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Okay.
So, they're pulling this together. They're all surreal,
Right.
but they're kind of addictive in their own quality. So.
Okay. Let's move the mic back.
Yeah.
Little mic.
So, when it comes to just very, very simple, that's what this. But they've really, and it's halfway between WarioWare and a rhythm game.
Sure.
But it's just something that has, very, very simple input. Usually they're one button. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they're two. They'd be like the heavier one and the faster one. But they're just kind of addictive in their catchiness. So.
Sure.
But. Now, and the thing is that what they're not doing, because a traditional trope, right, is like, how do you anticipate the thing coming, right? And this one, they're meant to be very short format. They're a mini game,
Mm-hmm.
and they're mostly just trying to get you to predict through the rhythm, and then they give you little wrinkles like, okay, you're supposed to hit this on beat, but is it the A button or the B button, right?
Sure.
Is it just like one or the other? And so they don't give you a lot of time to react. But whereas Guitar Hero, DDR, there's always the scroll of the of where you're supposed to be, and you can anticipate it. And there's a certain satisfaction to that when it comes to like the whole roller coaster effect of like, okay, that's coming up, I'm getting ready for it, and you can kind of see the shape of it, and it lets the anticipation build up a little bit more, so it's a little more. So it kind of depends if you want it to be like, that's really good for like a mastery thing, like if you want to give them a lot of things and you want to like get perfect at this, which is the goal of a lot of them.
Yep.
Whereas it's a Scrabble versus Boggle thing. Like Rhythm Heaven is like a Boggle thing where it's just like, you do the best you can, we're gonna mix it up a lot, and you just kind of have fun with it, versus the precision and the mastery, which is like, get this thing perfectly. But for us, it's just like, we don't have a music guy.
We don't have a music guy. So yeah, we're not gonna be able to like pull in any sweet tunes.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a kind of a simple idea right now, which is a platformer. All right, and it has this rhythm. It just has this beat. Bump, 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 bump.
So you're doing Necrodancer.
And so yeah, so it's kind of like Necrodancer, but you aren't. I mean, originally I was thinking that you only control left and right. On beat, you jump.
Oh, there's like every fourth beat or whatever.
Yeah, there's some sort of beat that you jump. I mean, we could do a thing where it's like Necrodancer, where on beat, if you tap up, you jump, and if you miss it, you like do like a little jump or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because it's kind of an inverted endless runner.
Sure.
Because that one is just the jumps.
Mm-hmm.
I had that Ghost Runner that you could go through things, but.
Right.
So left and right, I mean, yeah, you probably want to do some kind of a tower climb.
Yep, you want to have some sort of wall jumping or some basic platforming stuff if we go down this route.
Yeah. The trick, though, is like, you don't want to jump all the time, or do you?
Well, I mean, the baseline question is like, do we tell you when you can jump, or do we force the jump?
Yeah, I mean, what I learned from Endless Runner that is if you can get down to one control,
sure,
then there's a deeper, you can go. It's more casual in the sense that you can get deeper with it. Like, so I could even see something where the only button is change direction.
Okay.
But I don't know, because like jumping all the time isn't. But then if you only jump every 4 beats, then it'd be hard. It wouldn't feel as much like a flow state. That's what was great about Endless Runners. Is whatever reason, you're just using these jumps to get into this flow state where you're just like, okay, I'm dodging everything.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what other? Okay, other than platformers, what other systems could use the Necrodancer treatment? Right.
I mean, easy stuff is like top-down shooter or twin stick. I mean, those are kind of weird because normally you just are always firing, and so you're already kind of firing on a beat. But
Yeah, for 2D.
Right. We're trying to stay with 2D.
Yeah. I only 3D if it's like really simple.
Right. I have to remake the project. Yeah. Hmm.
Um,
I don't think we can do like tower defense. I don't think we can do. I don't think like an RTS type game would even be possible.
I mean,
Um,
I could see a tower defense where like you're doing the elite beat agent circles and you have to tap the towers.
oh, okay.
Right, and then as you build them, they're on different cadences that you have to work around. So like, and it could even be something like if you don't hit them on beat, then they do less damage.
Sure.
Right.
Hmm.
Oh wait.
Hmm.
Oh, Rob's up. Let's see if I can get him.
Okay. I don't know how we're gonna hook Rob's. I could pull if you mute yourself on
I don't know
Discord.
if I could call him.
You mute yourself. Oh, yeah. Call him.
Yeah, because
from
the audio
Discord.
can't come through me. But you could call him.
Right. If we add him to the call, we go through there, but it might be. I don't know how we hear it.
Mm.
That's the problem.
I could. Yeah, it would feedback, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the easiest way is to have like a phone outside of the call.
We can just get a number and you can call it. We can speakerphone on yours.
Yeah.
But
What other 2D type games can we do? I might like one of my ideas at the beginning was like, how can I make a clicker into a rhythm game, right? Because clicker, you're just trying to click as fast as possible.
yeah. But how do you do a?
But how I have this like rhythm, like it starts out really slow, right?
I could see an idle game where
And then it gets
all
faster.
of the different instruments on their different loops are the things that are working for you. And as you upgrade them, they change into another sound or whatever. So
Okay.
you see them like, there's like the grandmas and and you get more of them, but that doesn't necessarily change their tone. Maybe when they get to certain tiers, they'll transform into a new sound.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know if we're musically talented enough to like come up with all the loops.
To make it sound good.
But
Right. That's why. That's why going with like some other, like the platformer thing, where we don't have to worry about music. We just have to worry about the rhythm element.
mhm. Um, yeah, so I could see like a tower defense thing where they're all collapsing, but I don't know if that's fun offhand. Like it's like it is like a skilled execution,
Sure.
and it is kind of emergent in that you kind of set yourself up for that. If like I don't know how you get things on different cadences.
Mm-hmm.
Um, has there been like a rhythm fighting game?
I mean, One Finger Death Punch, and that's pretty much a rhythm game. That's also a fighting game,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
and it's pretty close.
Yeah, yeah. It has two directions.
Yep.
Hmm. Zombie defense rhythm game.
Zombie Defense. Yeah, there are billions rhythm game.
I could see something where they're approaching and you're trying to, but I don't see a hook.
Mm-hmm. Yep. A typing rhythm game.
Yeah, if we had some kind of baseline of music we could build off of, I think there's a lot of different things we could do.
Sure.
But
I mean, that's why I'm a little more
yeah,
I'm a little more interested in gameplay wise.
Yeah.
Like, what can we attach the rhythm to without having to worry about like music or whatever? That's interesting.
I kind of like this idea of rhythm heaven, where it's kind of given you these light, medium, heavy things,
Okay.
right? Where it's like, so imagine a puzzle game, but the thing is, like, you know what's in the queue, and so you've got this like, I don't know, I guess I'm thinking of two different things, but so one idea would be you're moving around an 2D grid, and you're given this queue of 1 move, 2 move, or 3 moves, and they're maybe in some side chamber, right? They're coming, and they're just coming in that order, and so you have to decide what direction you're going to face, and you have to hit a direction on beat or whatever. So, and so you're trying to avoid things and land on things, not but not at being able to always move as much as you want to move. And maybe if you've got a lot of extra movement, you run into a wall, maybe it hurts you or it's not good for some reason. But I can see something where it's just like, so you're not really in control of how fast you're moving, and so you're having to triage, like, okay, I have to work with this much movement.
So, like, Snake?
Is your cell? I'll get your phone out.
It's like Snake. Except rhythm game.
No, it's more just like you're gonna jump 1, you're gonna jump 2, you're gonna jump 3.
Right, but you're moving around in like this 2D grid.
Yeah.
And you're trying to collect these things.
Yeah.
And not run into yourself or the wall.
Well, I wasn't thinking there was a past self of you, but yes, maybe.
I'm just saying, like, Snake at work. This sounds interesting. Uh-oh. Don't tell anyone his number here. I'm messing with the mic. Oh well. Whoa.
Hello.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, how's it going?
You're a guest on our morning show.
Ah, hello.
Yeah, we got exactly 0 people watching right now, but
Oh, we might. Let me see.
We want to feel important at least.
Sounds good.
We had one. No, we might have one right now. That might be me. So we're trying to brainstorm rhythm games, and I showed him Rhythm Heaven, which they still haven't put out for Switch, which is unfortunate. And we're trying to think of something, because we don't have access necessarily to music, unless you have any suggestions, that we could build the rhythm off of. And so we're thinking more of like Crypt of the Necrodancer or Rhythm Heaven, where it's like, it kind of just has this built-in beat, and you kind of play around it. So that's the domain we're in.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to do a rhythm game, like with or without music. I mean, obviously music helps, but because the one you're talking about is kind of the on the beat thing, where it's just like do whatever on the beat, maintain the beat, and that's kind of a very basic one. Usually there'll be some sort of music backing track to go to, because it's not inherently super complex, but it can be a good like confounding factor, kind of like Crypt of the Necrodancer, where you're playing a whole roguelike on beat. You don't want it to be very, very tricky, because like you have a lot of stuff to juggle.
Yeah.
Another one is call and response. You can see this in like Patapon. You can see this in I guess Patapon's a little bit of situation call and response. Rhythm Doctor, I want to say, has a little bit similar. It does a very basic beat, and it just keeps messing with it to try to throw you.
What's the one with the wrestlers in Rhythm Heaven? Is that call and response?
Yeah.
It's on beat, but they like ask for different things, and you have to either flex
Yeah.
or do the other thing. There's like a couple different things to do.
Yeah, that's a call and response, because they'll do like, da 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 da, that true, huh. Or, whoa, you go big guy, and so like, all of that is, all that is call and response. That's a pretty popular one, especially for quicker ones, if you want to still focus on the rhythm. Just basically all you have to do for that one is you set up a beat in whatever you're doing. It could be sound effects, it could be,
Yeah.
an actual music, and then have them either copy it, in which case you usually don't want to measure, and that'll be like, a lot of the rhythm games are call and response.
Well, the other part we were thinking about is like, how do you predict it? So we're looking at like Elite Beat agents and DDR and everything, where you see them coming. Like you've got this oncoming, it's telling you what's coming up, so you can land it.
Yeah, that's kind of the third kind. It's kind of similar to saying on beat, except more complicated. It's just like, you can hear it coming in the music, you can see it coming visually, hit the stuff in time, and let it go. And that's kind of the third kind of those rhythm game styles. If you're short on music, I would probably recommend call and response, because it's the one that requires the least music. Because like, you can have call and response that doesn't involve music at all if you want.
Yeah.
Like that's where I was like calling out Patapon. Patapon has music involved, but it's like a monster shows up, and you have access to Pata and Pawn, and all of your commands are a series of those two drum beats. So you do like Pata 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 Pawn, and all your little armies, like your army runs forward, and then you see like a monster show up, so you do Pawn Pata Pata Pawn or something like that, or Pawn Pata, and one of those is like attack, and they'll all start throwing stuff, and one of those is like defend, and they'll all hold up things. You see the monster go into an attack, and you're like, oh crap, and you do the response to the monster going into the attack form to make them bring up their shields, and it's timed such that if you do that in beat appropriately, then you'll block just as the attack comes in. That would be another example. That one's like a little bit light on the rhythm side of the rhythm game, but it definitely like has that same call and response feel in a different genre or a different style.
I had a random idea. So if you go to hacker-simulator.com, it's this whole ASCII, fake hacker screen. And I was just thinking about like the whole making a rhythm game out of feeling like a hacker. And so you've got all these different windows that are up, and you're trying to kind of maintain different patterns, right? Like, some windows only need occasional maintenance, and some are more demanding, but they're all kind of running on a central, beat. Or maybe, any command you have to do has to be on beat, but so you have different letters that correspond on your keyboard to these different windows, and so it's just because a lot of, I think with all, when it comes to like Guitar Hero and DDR, it's about kind of living this very light version of a fantasy, and so having the fantasy of being super hacker and breaking firewalls and whatever, and it's just presenting these different challenges to you, but everything's kind of running off of a rhythm game, or it could be even a mix of some of those where there's some some of these mini games are call and response, some are tracks or whatever, but just kind of all using keyboard keys, because Jeff was saying there was a rhythm game that used keyboard at some point, like years ago.
Oh yeah, there's been a few. I'm trying to remember the names of them, but there was one from the same people who made Gunbound. There was one that was not Stepmania. I can't remember the name. There's basically a PC DDR that a lot of people play keyboard, and then you can also hook up a big controller. So yeah, there's lots of options on that.
Okay, and then the other thing we're kicking around, Jeff was talking about maybe figuring out a way to do a 2D platformer where maybe you control left and right, but you jump, you can only jump on beat or something, or or
kind of like a bit trip.
Oh yeah, Bit Trip. Well, that's a little more Endless Runner.
Well, they have a whole bunch of different styles, but
Yeah.
I mainly not. I don't think like, they did it, so you shouldn't. But more of like because they have different styles, like Bit Trip Beat, Bit Trip Blast, Bit Trip like whatever, that are all different. Like one of them's Pong, one of them's like, but they're all that kind of due to music thing.
Okay.
Like the Pong one, all of the little balls that bounce are part of the music, and as you hit them back, they like continue the music. But yeah, I think the hacker typer one you're talking about would be a good idea. Like, the nice thing about that, so the thing about keyboards, if you're going to look at doing something like that, is they don't have the ability to hit all their keys concurrently.
Yes.
So you'll want to watch out for that. But, excuse me, kind of going off what you were saying, I could see a world where instead of having multiple windows that you're juggling in kind of a plate spinning game, I could see it where, because the like, I'm gonna mash on the keys Hollywood hacker fantasy is like you're mashing the keys, and then like a big scary box pops up and you do something and then it says access granted and you continue.
Yeah.
So like I could see something where like maybe just hitting keys progresses you, and then periodically it throws these little rhythm challenges at you, maybe to the music. So you're like tappa tappa tappa, and it's like brings up an interstitial, and you hit enter, and like enter is the big like ticka ticka pap, ticka 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 pap, ticka pap.
Oh, so the enter is the rhythm part.
Yeah.
And
But like you can have some fun with it. You can even make the other keys kind of work. Like have one where it's like enter a password and you have to hit. It doesn't matter what keys you hit as long as you hit them like tap 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 or something like that. Because then what would happen is if somebody's playing well, they'll be sitting there having the hacker typer going while they're going, and like these little windows pop up, and it'll be like access granted, big scary thing, being traced, dodge the trace, and like all that kind of stuff.
well, I could see it too, where it doesn't care like if you're doing a password pattern, and it just kind of like up top it shows you the cadence, like it's like this is the cadence for this, so you can see it all. And then a little cursor moves along it, and you're supposed to hit as it moves across the password. And maybe some of them are faster, some are slower, whatever. But the only rule is you can't hit the same key twice, right? So you're keeping your fingers on different places. It doesn't matter where, and so you're playing, but you can't just sit there. And the normal thing with a rhythm game is it hitting the same button like a drum. And this one, you have to use a diversity of keys, just to make it look like you're typing,
You could even mix it up, like start off making it so you only need like at least 2 separate keys for some of the like challenges, but then later on you could have like a password field where it's like 8 separate keys, and so you have to play the rhythm with all of your fingers instead of just with 2 of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think that sounds like a good idea for the game jam.
Are you feeling it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Okay. It's stupid enough. All right. Okay. So I mean, I guess let's forget it. Let's make it. I mean, you can whenever you gotta go, Rob. We don't want to take all your time, but like, just types of games, and then what are you're in the whole
hacker realm.
Yeah, you're in the DEF CON community. So at least for tropes, what are some rhythm tropes, and what are some hacker tropes that we can play with?
I mean, rhythm tropes are all over the place because really it's just used as kind of a bread and butter to go with stuff. Like there's always the arrows sliding up the screen that's just like peak DDR. Like anything sliding along a thing is very like endemic of rhythm games, but not of the call and response style.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would be correct where you're going. I think just having like probably throw some like dark electronic music up in the background. If you can get like a backing track that you can use for the thing, that would be good.
I can find some generic music, and then we might be able to play with the BPM, or find a BPM that matches kind of the cadence we play.
Yeah, maybe pick a couple so you can have one for like low alert and one for high alert.
Yeah.
That you can blend between. But yeah, you can keep it pretty simple there.
When you have like an emergency thing where like they're tracing you and you have to like evade or escape or whatever,
Yeah.
so they don't get a beat on you.
Like, honestly, I would, because of how you're doing this, like, obviously it's not at all going to resemble any kind of real hacking. Like, I would lean into the Hollywood hacking aspect of it.
Yeah.
To, like, figure out the most, like, dumb and over-the-top thing that you could be doing while mashing random keys. And, like, throw together a word salad of the most dumb-sounding, like, if you actually think about it, text terms. Like, I know the one CSI thing that always gets thrown around is the person like, they're on the network, I'm going to write a GUI in Visual Basic to find the IP. Like, you certainly said some words. I don't think that's going to do what you think it's going to do.
I'll just make a word scrambler.
We can make a kitchen magnet system that just like puts like some words up there. They're doing this thing, and they're like, okay, you got to do this.
Yeah, like lean into that. In all honesty, like it's already, it's not going to be fun to make it realistic for something like this. So you just want to go real ham on it, where it's really obvious you're also poking fun at it.
Yeah.
Because that'll add to like, oh yeah, look at me hack with my mashing the keyboard randomly. I'm so good.
Well, but I mean, you are trying to beat a thing, so like, it's one of those things where it's like, part of you is making fun of it, and part of you, some level of it, you feel like you're accomplishing something.
Yeah, and I think that's something we'll have up on something like Hacker Typer. Although Hacker Typer does have shortcuts that make like the access denied and access granted interstitial pop up and stuff like that.
Hacker Typer, is that a website?
Yeah, it's basically just mashing a key. You can just press the same key. It's kind of the game except without the game on.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no game to it. It's just so when you're sitting there, people are watching over your shoulder, you can make it look more dramatic. Because you're sitting there mashing the keys, so they won't notice the fact you hit a keyboard shortcut halfway through. And then when you hit the keyboard shortcut, it's going to bring up, like, access denied, and then you mash some more keys, it goes, access denied, and you mash through more keys, it goes, access granted, and you can be like, yeah, and then keep typing. It's all puppetry.
That's great.
But like you can play with that and put the game in there. So it's like it's a farce, but it's also like a little fun mini game.
Okay. All right. So I guess so in this online hacker simulator, it has like these different windows that are just different kinds of inspirations. Like there's can I click on this? It's like a compiler, a download tracker, like a transfer directory. Let's see. I don't know. It's got some inspiration here. But, all right.
I do think for the style you're talking about, what you're probably going to want is some sort of background activity to do between like the challenges. Because I'm kind of imagining you'd be typing, and then a challenge would come up, and that would be the actual, like, do this rhythm, or do this challenge, and then you go through the challenge, and then when it completes, it would drop out and keep going, and if you failed, maybe, like, you lose one cracking, or one, basically get one step closer to losing, and then it could be a little bit of, like, how far can you get to the end, or how far can you get, depending on how you prefer doing it.
Okay, so there's an overall progress bar
and then it needs to
that you're trying to get to, like you're trying to get into their archive or whatever.
You're typing the keys and you can't type in the same key twice.
Hello?
Yeah.
So you gotta move it around.
All right, come down.
I'm just teaching, yeah.
All right. So there's an overall progress, and I guess what do you do when you're not doing a challenge?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I think you'd be just typing, like literally doing kind of Hacker Typer, because what it's going to do is it's going to keep you doing, but raise and lower the tension. So, like, in between you're typing, that's how you're just making progress, and that's just literally hit keys as fast as you can. Like, every key is like a 1/10% of progress.
Oh, yeah.
So you're sitting there just kind of mash, and then, like, a challenge comes up. You have to switch from this frantic, like, mash the keys to do a thing on purpose. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that would be a good tone switch for keeping differences in kind flowing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and it keeps you in this. It keeps you in the zone of, but you can't screw up. The other one is just like, I could see something where, I don't know, maybe if you're using different keys, again, like is better.
You can keep your basics. I mean, mostly you're gonna get, the JKLH, JKLH, or whatever. But you can make it so that like different keys make progress faster rather than faster hitting, so people aren't encouraged to get carpal tunnel. But you could also I could even see a world where you have a progress bar going and you can see the challenges on the progress bar, and you mash the keys to get towards the challenge, and you see it coming, and then you hit the challenge, and it drops in, and you have to do the thing, and then it drops out, and you keep moving the progress bar as you mash the keys. Probably with some sort of upper limit on, I think as long as hitting different keys is better than hitting keys super fast, and maybe with an upper bound, you're not, making people think they have to, twitch their arm to hit the keys super fast.
Well, for the general progress, you could have a thing where it's, there's times when it's nothing, but I could see also just type the alphabet, or type the alphabet backwards, or just hit all the keys, it maybe shows some visual thing where you're just trying to fill in all the spaces of the keyboard. But do you know on modern keyboards what's the limit on number of keys you can press at the same time?
It depends on the keys is the tricky part, and it depends on the keyboard. With a cheap keyboard, I want to say you could have even 3 keys might not work.
I think I think it's in the realm of 5 or 6.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But.
Yeah, because all of the Command Shift Alt, those ones have basically dedicated lines. So all the other lines are basically just mucks of the whole setup. So basically, as long as you're not having them hit all the keys at once, it should be fine. Because they basically set it up to be optimized for typing, and then I think there's WASD tend to be on different lines, so they don't have too much problem, or at least WS and A and D. But yeah, as long as you're not having them press multiple letters at the same time, you should be okay.
Okay. So we just got to come up with the challenges, I think, is the tricky part then. Is there's this password one, there's a tracing one. What are other Hollywood tropes for things you could be doing?
Firewall.
Oh yeah. I guess tracing you, but also tracing them.
You could set up a virus to disable the internal security.
But they can send a virus after you. You gotta shut it down.
You gotta counter the virus.
With your own virus.
Antivirus.
Yeah, I think you just kind of play around with it. See how many cool games you can come up with a rhythm base.
Yeah.
And just however many you have, make that many silly things to happen, and call that a day, I think.
Yeah. If there's for call and response, is it generally that there are different things you can do to respond?
No, the idea behind call and response is, you can do that, but the idea behind call and response is it's learning the call and executing the response well. And that can be in multiple forms. Some of them it's fill in the blank. So on some of the Rhythm Heaven games, you see there'll be some number 1 to 3 others, and then you, and it might be clap, 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 and then now it's your turn because it went down the line, and you need to do it right on beat with the other 3 that happened. Sometimes it'll be more of you're all responding. So sometimes we'll mix it up. So they'll have a da-da-da, and if you hear that da-da-da in the background, then all 4 of you have to hit the button at the same time, and of course the other 3 are AI, so you're the only one that can mess up.
Yeah.
So sometimes there's a call and response for the entire group. Sometimes the group will do stuff, and you just need to continue the pattern. So if you see, da, 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 and then it goes to your turn is probably a da-da.
Yeah.
And like different things like that, as long as it's clear what you should be doing, and it's usually implied in the visuals and the audio what you should be doing.
Yeah.
But it could be anything. It could also just be like a one-on-one where it's like da 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 da, and then it goes to you, and you go da 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 da, and then it goes back to the first one. It's like da 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 da.
Oh, it's like a Simon.
Usually not so far to end up as an actual Simon game because that's a different style of game.
Yeah, but it is a short pattern that you have to execute both on beat and in the right order.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's just call and response. Like I think you can probably mix in little versions of the other ones. Like heck, you could literally just have 4 letters across the top like a DDR grid and have little like bits come up past them, but it's like U, T, B, and W, and so you have to like map that in your head and then do like a really short DDR thing. Like you have a lot of options.
Yeah.
With the different varieties.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you get to work, but if you think of anything that a game or a theme thing, then text shoot me over on text.
Sounds good. Will do.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
Have fun, guys.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
Okay.
So a hacking game,
Rhythm game.
hacking rhythm game. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
seems like a good theme.
I mean, one of the core things we're talking about is like that. So you look like you're typing. Instead of a normal rhythm game where you're being drawn, you always have to use a different key.
I mean, I would limit to like you have to use 4 different keys or something.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It would increase. It'd be like 2 different keys, and then as it gets harder, it'd be like a bunch.
Okay, but here's an idea. When he's talking about the call and response, I wonder if, like, before you go on your mission, you set up your tools, right? And so you have your icebreaker and your virus and your password cracker, right? So okay, this one I'm gonna need my password cracker. You pull it out, and it's gonna give you a little rhythm, doing whatever like that, and you put in the keys you want. So you actually set up the tool, and then when you go on your mission, now you're gonna use this a whole bunch, but it's what you made. And then the next mission, now you have another tool, and so now you have, but you're making them, and then you can be a little bit different, because maybe that's where you can't use the same keys, or it's like this one now you have the ice cracker and it can't use the same keys, and it's
So you're setting up your own memory kind of thing.
right.
But you'd probably want it because they might forget it. You need to like.
Oh sure, you still show it to them for sure. But I kind of like the idea of like you're setting it up, and then especially where because you think about like Guitar Hero, like you go from medium to hard with adding what was going from 3 to 4 notes, right? Like adding that 4th note was like crazy hard.
Yeah.
Right. So like going to a keyboard with 26 keys, like that's going to be a challenge for people. So maybe them setting up their own little specs of what the letters are.
Yeah.
Then it'll be easier for
them. And then the idea is like that there is an overall progress. So like you're trying to get to the files or whatever, or you implant the virus, like whatever your overall goal is, you have an overall progress bar towards it. And that's why I'm saying like there's just kind of this idle.
Yeah, or you just kind of mash some keys.
Mash some keys, but there could be some more and less effective ways to do that.
I mean, and that frankly could still be to a rhythm, just like a much faster rhythm. But maybe during that point, that stage, it doesn't matter what you hit. It's just you gotta keep to the rhythm.
I think that would be fun is to have you have this progress, the thing you're trying to do, and then we just put a chess clock in the corner. And so like you always feel like you have to, and every time you mess up on it, because anytime you fail at a password, it's like not you're gonna lose, but if you're just burning time,
right? So you have to like finish.
This is your window or whatever.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because you have. I mean, they're tracing you, and that's you're keeping an eye on that because if you have to finish it before that.
Yeah, I think almost having a trace with maybe coupled with a countdown or one of the two, where it's just like this is part of it, and you've got to like get out.
Right.
And then the final thing is like you close it, closes everything.
Yeah, just does the shutdown sequence, and you're like,
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think?
Easier programming wise, instead of doing this chess clock, would be we just have like the number of fails. So we just say you can fail 4 times or whatever. So,
Sure. I mean, we can work on like success and failure, but it doesn't really change activities.
Yeah, it doesn't change activities. I think everything else seems pretty good. I mean,
well, in a rhythm game, fail is a very variable thing, right?
Yeah.
There's like fail, and there's like
Well,
partial
but
fail, and there's like.
Yeah, but in this we kind of want to have like the culmination of like, did you succeed at the hacky thing that you were doing?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it kind of wants a climax of like, you know, or like you get in and then there's like downloading files, you know.
Right.
I guess that's another trope is downloading.
Yeah, for sure.
Downloading files. Okay.
In Mission Impossible 1, there's actually a scene where he types in uploading jamming signal, like he types those words into the thinking machine laptops that he specifically got from Tom Cruise.
Nice.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I can start programming, at least the baseline stuff.
I mean, is this for text and stuff and scrolling text? Is there anything built in for that?
Well, scrolling text, I don't know.
Can we do this all in ASCII? Do this all in console?
Yeah. Make it look just like that.
Well, not even that. Like just like
Oh, like literally.
like a console, like where it's just you're just doing one thing after another.
Oh,
That's pretty
funny. I don't know about that.
But I mean, does Doozy do the text?
I might have a plugin that can like do it sequentially, but basically for
Oh,
doing any of this baseline stuff.
Oh, we have that text animator. It
Yeah.
looks like typing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For doing this type of stuff, I'm just gonna have to like put the keys under there,
Mm-hmm.
and then and then I need to have some sort of marker when you hit the key, and then some sort of area, obviously,
Right.
because like there's
Like successes.
Yeah,
compared to
there's gonna be the square around where you could hit it in, and then I have a timer on top for you where you are.
Yeah. Do we want to use this visual thing for most of the puzzles, where there is like a timeline? Like I just see like a little carrot or something hovering over this, and it's moving
Yeah.
this way.
Yep.
And
The carrot's moving.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Not this.
No, yeah, just the carrot's moving.
Because then what happens when it gets to the end? Because then you have to mentally reset when it goes back to the beginning.
So
So I think
when
it's
you're
better
doing
to have
another
that be
run.
stationary. Well, so this one run is just
Yeah.
the screen's worth.
Yeah.
So the run's really short.
Yeah, these are super small games.
Okay.
Well, like each one of these is just a mini game.
This is like a password, right? You're putting in one password, or you're breaking a firewall.
Oh, I
So
see.
the password
So this
thing
like pops up.
Yep.
Like enter your password. Okay, I see. I see.
Yeah, and so
I got
it might have a little bit of like a 3, 2, 1 countdown, or not, right? But or you have enough room where
Yeah,
you can
he's
see
got
it.
some-
You can
some
see
runway.
it. A little runway, and then it's just like. And that's what I'm saying is like even before we have like the tool thing, making versions that just have like maybe have like letters, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes they're really close, you know. But we get some kind of click track in the
Right.
back, and then we make sure that these is on the
Yeah, you just need to be careful here because you don't want to. I mean, unless you do, but this is if you're not careful, it's going to turn into a typing game.
We're kind of it is.
Well,
You're
but
kind of-
that's
that's
a way
kind of what
different thing and way harder, right?
Yeah. But and that's the thing is maybe this isn't particular letters. Maybe it's any letter, and then we have marks.
Right.
Yeah.
It could be different flavors.
Yeah, I think it being any letter, but you can't. The main thing is you can't use the same letter twice in one of those
In
little areas.
one of the areas.
Yeah.
Right, but there's like 10 ticks in this area or something.
Sure, it can be. And if you like.
But it's not
early
like-
on in the game.
100 or something.
Yeah. So I guess thinking about two things is like I have to keep switching fingers, and I'm trying to follow this rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that when it comes to music, you just look at like, so when I'm doing bagpipes, right? They have these phrases of how you remember, like when you have a triple notes, but like these two are half notes and this is a whole note, and there's little words you say to yourself to be like whole, half,
Oh, yeah.
you know, like and so you can remember, and some will get pretty complicated, like that, you know. there's like 3 short ones and then 1 long one and 3 more. Like, there's like a, I'll find the map of them, but that's like just for rhythm stuff. And if you have spacing where this is moving the same speed, then your brain should be able to figure out like, okay, hold that key. I mean, I guess that's a question. Do you hold this key when you have a longer one? Do you hold the key, or you just have to hit the key on that time and then hit these keys?
Right now, it's just gonna be a hit for all of them. We'll see if we can.
Yeah, and I think if the fantasy's typing,
Yeah,
you don't really hold down the A for words. It's just,
yeah, because in Guitar Hero they have like all the notes, but then they'll have like the
right.
you
But
know,
that's the
strum.
fantasy of guitar.
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
different.
Yeah. So yeah, we want to reinforce typing. But yeah, I think this could be the basic game, because that's the thing is if we can figure out enough different ways to skin the basic game, then we just put these different like it's a password this time.
Little
It's the same
theme.
mechanic.
Yeah.
You know, and then we'll see how much diversity we can get. But
I mean, yeah, and there's a million different ways you can like make this a little bit different. Like one could be just number keys. You know, so you just put on your little number pad and just put down on it.
oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
That's where you're trying to get the account number. You know.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Letters or numbers.
Yeah. Letters could be password.
Oh yeah, I like the categories. Yeah. Can't remember.
You always got to hack people's account number. That's very important.
It's very important. You gotta get their account number.
Of social.
Yep.
CCN. Credit card.
Yep. EIN.
Okay, Mr. Setting up a business.
Yeah.
I said a business we got recently.
I know what an EIN is. All right.
Okay. I guess it's party time. All right. I'm just gonna start writing stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You get going. Turn off the mic for a bit. We'll chat,
Turn off the mic.
and then people can just watch you.
Microphone. There we go. Okay. The game is playable. So, right now the BPMs are the same no matter what. We need some way to increase them.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's after every single challenge, the BPMs go up
Oh. Yeah.
or something. That's probably seems like the easiest thing we can do right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the different patterns for the challenges, I made it so we can make as many as we want for the
Okay.
different challenges.
So they're the same thing. They're like a. When you say pattern, it's just like.
They're like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're just like this, and then right now you just choose a number. Like I wanted it at 1, I wanted it at 5, I wanted it at 7, I wanted it at 27, and I'll extend this all the way to the last number.
Yeah.
So.
And then you don't have any sound effects or anything.
No, I don't have any sound effects.
I just figure for your BPM you could have sound.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I can play something.
Yeah. And the trick of this is just making sure this is like half notes or quarter notes, that they map something to the overall speed.
Right now, every single one of these are beats.
Yeah.
So every single one of these marks are beats.
Yeah. But can we do half beats or quarter beats, or that's where we might, as things get harder.
I mean, if we speed things up, if we speed up the beats per minute, then yes, you get half beats, because at 90 you just bring it to 180.
Well, I was even saying like there are things even in like Guitar Hero where you're on the offbeat. So it would be just like, are there cases where we can throw one in two really close to each other, or one between two or whatever?
No.
Okay.
It is not programmed for that right now.
Oh, because it's not the window for it. What it's checking is not. Yeah.
It's checking what beat it's on right now.
How long is the window it has?
However many, 90.
No, it's meaning like how close do I have to be to that exact millisecond?
So how it works is
There's a collider.
there's just a beat. So like every beat happens. So let's say whatever, and let's say there's one here and there's one here. So you step to this beat, you wait. Step to this beat, you wait. Step to this beat. You have from here.
If I'm a little early, I'm gonna miss.
What?
If I'm a little early, I miss.
Right.
Oh, but if you're late,
If you're a little late, you're fine.
Right. So I mean, ideally, you would think you want it more like that. So if you're, a little bit early, you're okay. If you're a little bit late, you're okay.
Right now, everything is programmed in integers, and so I do a beat, a beat, a beat, a beat.
But there's no time that it's not checking for some category, because I can see the other way to do it is just like that it doesn't. There's a gap where there's no,
I mean, I could do a float thing where it starts, so the float goes whole numbers, and then in between it does like a ramp up to another whole number.
I think to make it challenging, we need to, you probably need a window, but like shrinking that in so you feel like you can fail more at it. But
Sure.
I mean, yeah. So what happens if in your code I have a beat of 1, a 2, and a 7?
Yeah.
Right. So then the player comes in, and at beat 3 they hit the space bar. Does that count for beat 7?
No.
Does it count for beat 2?
No.
Okay. So this is
Okay.
void.
Mhm.
so you do have gaps. It's just I guess as things speed up, it all works out anyway.
Yep. All that stuff is void in the middle.
Oh yeah, so you could shift that window over just visually, right? You wouldn't have to change any of your code, and just instead of showing it here, you show it here.
Yeah. I mean, if I just do a thing where I change the beat to a float, and then I get how close it is.
Yeah, you get the absolute value of the delta between the two.
Oh yeah, how close it is to the next beat, and then I can be like, okay, are you really close to the next beat? Okay, yeah, then we're fine.
Yeah, because then you have a shrinking window.
Yeah, then we can make it as big as we want. Well, you put in a bunch of keys. Oh no, you hit those. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to like hard code something for each one of those because hitting up on the numbers is alpha the number in Unity. And right now I just hit toString. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, right now making it harder is just yeah, there's semicolon.
That's great. All right.
But yeah, I don't know if we can increase the beats per
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah, I'd speed the whole thing up. But I don't know that it represents 90 beats per.
What?
So I guess 90 beats per second is every 0.6 seconds. It just seems like I don't. It seems like it's slower than 90.
Okay, here we go.
I just-
We're gonna look at the math. All right, there it is. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, maybe it's because I'm thinking in half notes or whatever.
Okay, good.
Well,
I hate math. Okay, so on game, how many
Just
beats?
double it and let's see what it feels like.
Oh, you just want to double the baseline?
Yeah, just double the BPMs.
Well, let me just quickly add a increase per level, and let's put this at 20, and that's 20. So I need to go beat master dot change beat master. I need to get access to the starting beat. I guess I could just like add beat. No, let's just do public. I know. It already is public. Oh my god. Okay. Dot BPM times level. So
Times level?
Oh. I need to do
I see.
not this.
You want yeah.
Oh, plus, and then I want level times a level increase. Like that.
That's what you want.
Okay. Let's see how it goes. Let us see. This doesn't really matter because now we're at 110. I can feel the speed. I only have two of these things. Okay, here, you want to try 150? I only have two of the lines set up right now.
Oh, mess up. What? What?
Got hit right. There you go. There you go.
170, let's go.
Ah,
Yeah, 'cause he's getting a little early.
Yeah, he's going early.
You gotta extend that window.
what? I had that. It showed a note.
It lied.
What?
Oh.
Maybe I did the same.
Yeah, don't do the same. Or you start. Right, 210.
Ah. Yeah, I mean, what's the temptation to not do the ASDF, I guess?
I don't know. Rob was the one who said put that in. So I don't know.
Oh, you're getting fast.
Like we can make longer ones. I can make ones that only show up after a certain level.
Ah, come on.
that top right corner should beep. Every time
Come
it
on.
turns off and on, it's one beep.
Come on.
You need some audio, my dude. All right, we found the upper limit.
You try it.
Done.
See if you get Try it.
Come on, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm gonna do great.
Give it a try. Oh, you almost did it.